my god, you know Leonard Nimoy hated this.
Oh, you bet he's having fun.
We slide among the mimsy troves and tire among the boros.
Captain's log, stardate 5784.2. We are responding to desperate distress calls from an unknown planet.
Are you from the spaceship Enterprise?
Oh no. It's gonna be a short guy.
The perspective trick.
Alexander, at your
Ah, it is.
Oh, little person.
sometimes calls us Plato's children, although we sometimes think of ourselves more as Plato's stepchildren.
That might be the quickest title drop in any episode ever.
Someone's waiting for you.
They said it. What the fuck?
Well, what happened to that leg?
I suppose I scratched it.
The infection is massive. Let me give you a hypo to ease the pain.
They came to help. They deserve better than to die. Oh.
Okay.
Have we ever cut the intro on someone else besides our main characters?
I don't think so. Based on that intro, you could tell they're really trying to put a lot of stock into this character here, it seems like. Playing some chess.
After the death of the Greek civilization they idolized, they came to this planet and created for themselves.
Did you say they went to Earth during that time, then left?
And from now on, it would be better if I handled the instruments without your help.
They visited Earth for like, what, a year? Like, we really like this. We're going to take this culture somewhere else.
Your pan is in jeopardy.
I like this, though.
It isn't now.
Oh, poor Alexander has to pick up the pieces physically.
While still on Samdara, we instituted a mass eugenics program.
Oh no, not eugenics.
Pared down to a population of 38. We're perfect for our utopia. How old would you say I am?
35.
That old? I stopped aging at 30. Well, anyway, you're off by 2,000 years. I'm 2,300 years old.
Ooh. It's great because, you know, it was just people standing off camera just throwing the stuff.
This actually wasn't supposed to happen. Gina Roddenberry burst in and started throwing stuff. What have you done to my show? My show!
Ooh, Scotty in the chair.
Hell yeah.
And two random dudes. All right.
Both Sulu and Chekhov not in?
Get her out of orbit and into space.
Let's try that, sir. She's locked tight.
This is basically the plot of Logan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't kill this guy off.
I like him the least.
Stand behind me.
Yeah, why would that
Stand
matter?
behind me.
Bones! Shake him! Break his concentration!
Where's Spock?
He's just chilling.
How illogical.
Thank you. We must return to the ship.
I think I better wait until the fever breaks.
In that case, we'll stay.
I guess. It's like, why do you care about this guy?
Are there other Platonians like you
What do you mean, like me?
who don't have the psychokinetic ability?
I thought you were talking about my size. Because they make fun of me for my size.
Not Kirk.
Where you come from, are there a lot of people without the power and my size?
Where I come from, size, shape, or color makes no difference. And nobody has the power.
Somebody wants me.
Well, I hope they take him with them.
Yeah. Bring him on the rest of the show.
I would like to know why the ship's instrumentation and weaponry is frozen, and why the Enterprise is locked in orbit. Captain, please.
Sounds like William Shatner has a cold.
We've showed our good faith. Now you show yours.
This sounded a little stuffy.
Do not take that tone with me.
Oh no, not the hitting yourself. The ultimate embarrassment.
Poor Alexander. He knows it all too well. You think he was named after Alexander the Great? Or did he steal his name? Was that around that time? I don't know anything about history.
I can't believe you guys didn't know that was a Greek name. I don't know a single one.
Kratos?
Greece? Is that a name? That's a John Travolta movie.
Not even the right spelling. Oh no.
I don't know. I don't want to go, but I can't help myself.
Oh!
Come on, Spock, can't you mind meld your way out of this?
Mind meld yourself. It's pretty great, though.
Save money on some special effects. Oh, his mind is making him do that.
We have some trifles for you. Please accept them as tokens of our gratitude. They stem from the very source of our inspiration.
You know what's amazing? So many of these planets want them to stay, and it's like, have you ever had someone over your house or your home and you want them to stay? It's like, no, get out of here. I have any guests over. So, when are you leaving?
Thanks for stopping by. See you later. I just got here.
After my nearly fatal infection, it has become obvious to us all that we cannot afford to be without a skilled physician.
Huh.
The answer is no.
We should like to keep it cordial, but we are determined to have you stay, Doctor. We managed to live in peace and harmony.
Whose harmony? Yours?
Schooled him.
Spock's like, I know more about you than you do.
Yeah.
This is not the Enterprise. You are not in command, Captain.
Oh, why even discuss it? Get rid of them.
My dear, that might offend the good doctor.
They really are trying to stay on his good side.
I hope we can persuade you to join our tiny republic.
You won't persuade me.
I think we will.
Oh my god, you know Leonard Nimoy hated this.
Oh, you bet he's having fun.
Marching to and from. We slide among the mimsy droves and tire among the boragos. You're not staying, McCoy. No matter what he tries to.
The hat fell off. Spock.
Upon the hours.
As if, it does anything.
No, Parman! Stop it!
Spock's selling like a referee.
Yeah, he took that ref bump.
Did he just get up with no hands?
Yeah.
That was very impressive.
Oh no.
Oh no. Your turn.
Do you think that's someone else? Someone else's
Yeah, I was about
feet?
to say, Leonard Nimoy was like, I am not doing this.
That might be. I don't think that was him.
I was able to do that.
What, was he gonna stomp on his head? What happened?
Oh no. They broke him.
Alexander comforting him. Don't get yourself in trouble. Oh. Oh my god. Imagine you're like watching this as a kid, your dad comes in like, what is this? Is this that Star Trek
What
shit
are
you watch?
watching? Grabs the belt. Look at his face. He's like, what am I doing with my life?
That might have been the longest continuous scene in any Star Trek episode. Oh!
Put it down.
No, this is the best thing
Put it
for
down.
No.
Do what I say.
I'm gonna cut them.
Alexander.
They're gonna kill you anyway. You know that.
In that case, what's the point in you dying too, Alexander?
It's the first time anybody ever thought of my life before his own.
Is it possible for you to recall how long after you arrived here that their power began to develop?
It's been thousands of years.
Fascinating. Their power developed 2 or 3 months after they started eating the native foods.
Well, then why wouldn't Alexander have the same power as the others?
Perhaps his system cannot absorb the crucial element.
I thought they were gonna be like, let's just start eating their food and then stay here a few months.
I was worried they were going to say that.
The one significant difference between Parman's blood and Alexander's is a concentration of kyanite, broken down by pituitary hormone.
I'm ready. Let's not waste any time. Give us double the concentration in Parman's bloodstream.
Think that's what I want? Become one of them? Become my own enemy? You can keep your precious power. If you do make it out of here, take me with you. Just drop me any place where they never heard of Kieranide or Platonius.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh! Woo!
He pull them down here?
Lieutenant Uhura.
Oh, no. I thought we were going to get like a female badass moment.
Yeah. Nope.
Nope. I think they're being pulled down for a worse reason.
Nice dresses, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're ever glad to see you.
That's great. Dude, Leonard Nimoy has the build of a basketball player.
Probably dunk.
Yeah. Easily.
What would be better than a serenade from the laughing spaceman?
Take care, young ladies, and value your wine. Be watchful of young men in their velvet prime.
He's
Laugh,
good.
cry, get angry. But now we finally get to hear him sing.
Yeah. Everything that Spock has never done, you get to see in this episode.
Leaving bitter dregs. Ah, bitter dregs. Then leaves with your treasure in cold morning light.
They're both like, this is wrong.
It's like they probably didn't even know anything about what was going on, you know what I mean? And then they just get forced down, and then like now they see Spock singing, they're like, this isn't. Chekhov would have been fun in this episode.
I'm so ashamed. Please, make them stop.
We have tried.
I'm surprised they can still speak.
I'm deeply sorry. Failed you.
Oh, come on. It's got to be Alexander that gets him out of this.
He's going to have his Darth Vader moment. He's going to grab Parman and throw him down the shaft.
He just picks him up, no effort.
Yeah.
Oh!
Careful, Mr. Spock. Too much love is dangerous.
Shut up. This is only your third line. It's been like 40 minutes.
I'm so frightened, Captain. I wish I could stop trembling.
I think Uhura always has the best hairstyles.
Woman.
Wow.
Oh, God. It's about to get freaky.
You guys end up, what's it called? BDSM?
What, BDSM? Is that a branding iron?
Oh my God. Oh God.
Oh, God, that's like dangerously close.
Common.
Oh no!
Alexander again.
Oh, please don't tell me he dies.
Dude.
No.
No!
Please, God, no. He's doing something.
Oh!
Who did that? I did. Impossible.
Quite possible. And logical.
Not only do we have your psychokinetic ability, but at twice your power level.
Oh, they're fighting over him. Oh, come on.
Can you quit using me?
Yeah, just use the knife.
Captain, no! I beg of you.
I'll do anything you say.
Probably never been scared before.
Don't stop me. Let me finish him off.
Do you want to be like him?
Oh, tying it back. Yes, I do.
I could have had your power, but I didn't want it. I could have had your place right now.
We have become bizarre and unproductive. We are existing merely to nourish our own power.
Oh, is she looking at the knife?
Alexander. Mr. Scott, prepare to beam us up. I have a little surprise for you.
Oh, they are taking him.
Cuts inside the Enterprise. Parman's up there.
Oh, I wish we could have seen him on the Enterprise.
Maybe there's a comic or something that explains what happened to frickin' Alexander.
So I have known about Kirk kissing Uhura in this show for years before I ever saw anything Star Trek related. I just heard about the story on a podcast. Didn't know what episode it was, so I was when it was happening, I was like, oh, this is the episode. The story I heard, this is years ago and I was much younger, so I'm sure you guys will all refresh our memory, but from what I heard, the network or whoever actually did not want to show the shot of them kissing because obviously it's interracial. And so they had another camera shot of just the back of her head that they were going to use where you would see where you wouldn't really see it. But if I remember correctly, William Shatner purposefully made goofy faces and did stuff to where they couldn't use the footage from that camera angle, so they were forced to use the shot of them actually kissing, which is just based, of course, if that's what happened, from William Shatner. So that's all I really know of the story. So I'm excited to get refreshed on exactly what happened there. But yeah, I've known that was coming. Didn't know it was in this episode, so just wanted to throw that out there.
William Shatner W. Hell yeah. Performance of the week is definitely Alexander. Absolutely. He was, his whole performance is great, and his arc where it's I don't want to be like them, and he's come on, let me kill him. It's you want to be like that? And it's oh shit, no I don't. Captain Kirk's whole speech, because this poor guy, this poor little person who probably has to deal with this in real life, being ridiculed and, made fun of and forced to do things. And Kirk giving his whole future speech, I was there's no differences, everyone's different, but we're all, that whole thing. Well, that was great. I mean, all the stuff with them being dragged around, those long scenes were super uncomfortable. I don't know if that was the intention to make us feel uncomfortable, seeing them do this weird stuff, and the redirect of the women coming down. Oh, they're coming to help, and it's oh no, they're not. It's oh damn it. But just overall recapping, that was fine. Also, the misdirection of oh god, with the voice, the god complex, super tall, shadow comes down, lower. It's a little person. I'm boom, I'm in. But as it went along, started to lose me here and there, but just good character stuff here and there. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, I think, just right off the bat, obviously this episode is goofy. It's silly, so I think you're going to be, there might be people out there that this is their favorite episode, but, I don't know, just because it's so kind of different from everything else we've seen, so it's not one of my favorites, but, I'll say I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. It's a definition of when we were going into Season 3, this is what I was thinking, weird, different, silly, but still done in a way that's entertaining, and I was thoroughly entertained by this episode. It wasn't a, for me personally, Paradise Syndrome, even though a lot of people like that episode. I just felt really bored during that. The Children episode, same thing, where it was just kind of dull and boring. This, I was really entertained. I will say I really liked the costumes and the sets and everything, although you can kind of tell they're all just big sets that, I think that's why the scenes were so long. They're just all right, go in this set, have a 10-minute scene, one camera shot for the most part.
Yeah, big wide shot, yeah.
But I did enjoy the sets and the costumes and everything. I know nothing about Greece or Greek history or anything like that, but the subject didn't bore me. I was interested, and I agree with you. Alexander, played by Michael Dunn, definitely highlighted the episode right from the beginning, where he's the focus, comes in with that perspective shot, like you said, and then he's talking to them, introducing himself, then he's oh, and just goes off the screen. I'm okay, I'm in for this episode. This seems fun, and I'm glad he had such a big role.
Yeah, that intro was I had nothing to say afterwards. I'm what the hell just happened? But yeah, now I'm clicking through. This was a great set. Like, looks fantastic. No wonder they use all those wide shots. I'm like, okay, just dance around for 10 minutes straight. Tap dance, Spock. Get to see more acting chops out of Leonard Nimoy. I wonder, if he was happy, or excited, or disappointed he had to go through this. We all know Kirk loves to be dramatic. He probably loved doing the horse thing with Alexander on his back. Now I'm wondering, when they leave, they're going to hold on to those powers for a bit? Does it only work on the planet?
Yeah, you'd think so, because they didn't say anything about the planet having to do with it. It was just the food on the planet that they broke down into whatever it was they injected. So you would think they would keep them for a certain amount of time, but they didn't really address it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we all know it's almost, there's some continuity, but we all know it's reset.
I really like the the setup and everything. I think is interesting how he has this wife character. So you have what was his name, Parman, who's like the main guy,
yeah.
And then his wife was Falana, and a lot of times you'll hear about like, oh, this like the boss of this empire or evil guy or whatever, but actually their wife is actually even more evil, and she's just kind of in the background. And I got like vibes of that throughout this episode, where she was, even though kind of just like in the background and he was the one leading, that she might actually be the main evil one. And I thought they were going to do something there at the end where she was going to turn on him or something, get mad that he was giving up the power at the end, but maybe they just didn't have enough time or didn't really get into it. But they had like those shots of her like looking at him and being disappointed. I was thinking they were going to do more with that, but I did enjoy her character, but I thought there could have been more development.
Yeah, I do feel like she was definitely left out, especially all those other people. Like, it would cut to those two looking dudes, the one with the bad beard and the one that looks, one with the blue eyes, and like they cut to him in the beginning, and at the end, I just feel like there was something missing with them that could have been added at the end. But definitely with his wife, yeah, this felt like a complete waste of a character. I just feel like they wanted more time to show the set. Like, we got to show him dancing. We got to show him, the whipping, the uncomfortable whipping and branding scene. Like, I feel like all that went on for a bit too long, and like we missed out on some other characters on this planet. Oh, there's 38 of them. When they said that, I'm like, there are? We've only seen like 5 of them. But they had that nice shot where the curtains open, and they're behind the thing, and you can see like 6 or 7 of them. But yeah, I mean, I get it. Same thing with the asteroid planet. Just can't have a million people walking around. But I just wish we learned more about like what's her motivation besides just sitting in that chair, or was that what it was like back? Is that why she was like that? Because they went to Greece for a year and then left.
Also with Nurse Chapel and Spock, it's too bad that they've had like multiple scenes of like them teasing a romance throughout the show, but in almost from memory, every single one of them, one or both of them like aren't in their right mind. Just like the naked time when she's like confessing her love for him is because she's drunk, and then there's a muck time when Spock comes on to her because he's like hormonal. And then there's, the episode last season where they got possessed by the gods. Every time they like tease a romance with them, because we know Nurse Chapel has feelings for him. It's like not natural, or it's not actually them. I would love to eventually see a scene where they have some type of on-screen chemistry or romance of some kind, where it actually is both of them voluntarily, partaking in it. And on the same token, Uhura and Kirk here, I mean, not the show's fault, but because I've been aware that this kiss is eventually going to happen throughout the whole show, it's kind of disappointing that we get to it. It's like, oh, they were literally forced to by this like being that's making them kiss. It's like, oh, that's unfortunate, but that's on me. That's my expectations. But yeah, that was weird to see.
Yeah, Nurse Chapel went from slapping Spock to kissing him, so I guess it's an upgrade. I guess. I mean, it was a non-consensual kiss on both sides, but if what you said is right, if they're slowly building to a relationship, maybe by Star Trek 6 they'll finally go out on a date.
Yeah,
like the movie 6.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But yeah, probably just my favorite thing from the episode is, like we brought up with the beginning shot of the perspective switching. There was a lot of just like bait and switch moments that really worked on me in this episode. Like, that was good. You brought up when her and Nurse Chapel first came down, we think it's like, oh, why are they coming down? But then no, they're being forced to come down. Just a lot of like little things where it's not what you expect at first. The whole scene with Alexander trying to stab him, kind of like the Loki and Thanos moment where he tries to stab Thanos with the blade, right? Similar to that. Just a lot of little moments where it turned it on its head and was different than you first expected. So there was actually some pretty smart writing and direction here from these people who I'd never heard of before this episode. David Alexander, and then looks like Meyer Dolinsky was the writer, so don't know who any of those people are. But yeah, I've heard some bad stuff, I feel like, in the comments about this episode, and like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing why anyone would hate this. I get why it's not your favorite or whatever, and it's silly, but like, I found it entertaining.
Yeah, maybe some people like the more futuristic type. This is science fiction. I guess maybe some people don't like the period type pieces. It's like maybe they're looking more like, I'm so bad with episode names. The one with the blind lady, like maybe some more futuristic, weird stuff like that. I mean, what's good about Star Trek is that it's never too dull. It's never too complacent, and I think it's aware of some of its regular pitfalls. By pitfalls, I mean like tropes. Like, okay, I totally believe that beginning was a bait and switch for the God Complex voice. And I was so like, oh, like right off the bat, like, no. And I was pleasantly surprised because it ended up being my favorite character of this episode. So, I don't know, man. It's like, Star Trek's like, especially just TOS, it's definitely like a freaking buffet where it's like you never, like a blind buffet. Like, what's it going to be this time? What are they bringing out today? Or just a restaurant, like, oh, what's the special of the day?
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I think, it reminds me when we watched a little bit of a callback, but when we watched Doomsday Machine last season with, Commander Decker and that whole episode, we had said, or I had said in the discussion that I was like, oh, an episode that is going to be focused, if it's like a space battle or something more action-oriented, which Doomsday Machine did have a lot of character stuff with Decker especially, but I was like, anything that's going to be like more action or space, driven, isn't going to hook me in as much, and it's more so the character stuff that I'm looking for. And someone commented on that video, don't know who it was, so I apologize, but someone commented on that video, and they were like, said something to the effect of like, yeah, TV now, it's like, now some shows get so far into the characters that it's like it forgets to be a sci-fi show. And I think you're right. Like, I think that people who are fans of TOS, are looking for that space stuff, which it's like, I like the sci-fi stuff too, don't get me wrong, but it's like, at the end of the day, I do love the character stuff more. And it's like, even though this isn't necessarily like some space sci-fi thing, action thing in this episode, we get to see the big three on this weird planet doing weird stuff, and you get all these character moments. You get this character of Alexander who we didn't even know, and he gets like a full character arc. It's like, I'll take that, you know what I mean? Like, I love the character stuff. So some people were saying that episode you referenced with the blind woman, is there in truth no beauty? They're like, this episode's basically a soap opera, and it's like, yeah, soap operas can be pretty cool if they're done well. Like, that's why we love professional wrestling, It's like, so that's just the kind of people we are, It's like, if it sucks, it really sucks, but when it's done well, it's great. And I feel like that's the same thing for these kind of episodes. So I don't know, that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely draws in two types of fans, because I know there's people who have gone, like, literally become like astronauts or gone into space because of Star Trek, because there is that science fiction aspect. It's futuristic, it's space. There definitely should be that scientific aspect, but also there's fans of that dramatic aspect, the characters, the the Shakespearean play, that whole aspect. And I feel like Star Trek is a good mix of both. I mean, I think TOS definitely falls more on the dramatic side. There is a lot of science fiction stuff, but I believe Next Gen gets a little more like very scientific, spacey. Well, like, this feels more dramatic, but it's like, it's not just for one type of person. You know what I mean? It's like, there's people who like watch, I don't know, Friends because they like that kind of sitcom comedy or whatever. But I feel like Star Trek, you're able to get a lot more type of, things in there as opposed to some other things.
Yeah, and that's also a benefit of it being episodic, is that there's episodes that are going to completely turn people off, and some people love them, and then the next episode it could be opposite, and the different people would love that one and vice versa. So I've really, enjoyed that too, and that's what makes it fun discussing all the episodes too. But yeah, I mean, I think that's about it for this. I mean, we were talking more about just generally too here, but this episode in particular, I'll be happy to revisit this one. I enjoyed it. I would just say it's solid. It might not make my list at the end of the season but it's like, it was a solid one. I went into this, with a little bit of lowered expectations, just based on comments, which I try not to let happen, but it does. We're human. But yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. A lot of good stuff here. And sidebar here, I think this show's a good example of you can have so many different types of genres in there because it's episodic. But now in the day of a modern TV show where it's a 10-episode, 10-hour movie, it's hard to deviate away from it. And people if it's different from the main storyline, people are like, oh, it's filler. It has nothing to do with the blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So luckily this still exists. I was a little skeptical because I don't think I've ever heard of it. Just besides children's TV shows, but just episodic television, and I wish things like this still existed.
Yeah.
Black Mirror, or if there's any other shows out there, Strange New Worlds, but we're years from watching that. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
This could definitely be the topic of a bigger discussion, but it's I agree. I mean, it's what happened to the balance of something's fully like a Twilight Zone or Black Mirror, fully anthology, where it's brand new every time, or you have serialized 6 to 10 episode of the same story. But shows like this are like a lost art. It's 20-ish episodes, and like you said, the only thing that really is still like that in the last few decades is sitcoms, because that's the purpose of them, is to be little short 20-minute things. But you don't really have dramatic shows that follow an episodic format that much anymore. So I'm excited because we have this, and then also I think Next Generation's the same way, and that's 7 seasons or whatever it is. So it's I'm excited to have all of that to see for the first time. But yeah, I think that's about it. I could keep going on about this topic forever, but I guess we can stop with that.
That's why I don't watch new shows, because it's too much of an investment. But with this, it's one and done. Boom, next story, let's go.
Exactly. All right, well, I'm excited to see what you guys think about this too. Like I said, I've already heard some people don't like this one. Maybe there's some defenders out there, or explain why you don't like it. We're interested in that too. So, look, at the end of the day, if we disagree on an episode, it's fine. It's okay. Well, I mean, whether it's Alex and I disagreeing or you guys having a different opinion on this, that's cool. But the main question I really want to know is, what is the most memorable thing to you guys from this episode? Is it the Uhura Kirk kiss, or is there something else, the character of Alexander? What do you guys think is the most memorable thing of this, even if you don't like it? I'd be interested in that too. So let us know. And if it's your first time here, make sure to subscribe, become part of the target audience, so you can watch all of Star Trek along with us.
Absolutely. That'll do it for us here. I'm Alex. This is Josh. We're the target audience. Content's made for absolutely everybody. But we think specifically made for us, and hopefully for you guys too. We'll see you next time.